our next speaker is Stefaan Paridaens. He's in charge of the data warehouse team at BICS, and he's going to explain to us how he's creating a big data platform adding, to deliver value-adding service.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you enjoyed your coffee and everybody's awake for the next session. So in the next session, I'm going to talk a bit about the importance of data and how it gradually becomes even more and more strategic for our telecom company. So I will quickly introduce my company. BICS is a telecom company, but we are not just a regular telecom company. In fact, we are an international carrier. And we are the shareholders are Belgacom, Swisscom, and MTN. We are a relatively small company, about 400 or 500 people, and our headquarters are in Brussels. As I mentioned already, we are just not a regular telecom company. We are actually an international carrier, what means that all telecom operators worldwide can come to BICS to become our customer, to make sure that whenever people are roaming, whenever you are traveling around the world, and you are feeling homesick or you want to call your mommy and daddy, you can just reach out to whatever destination. So we are in fact connecting all the operators from various destinations to their home network. This is in fact our platform that we put at the disposal of our customers. So we really have an international network of physical cables crossing all the oceans. We also have satellite communication to make sure that wherever you are, you can call from the United States to Europe, to Africa, even to the Far East. Data warehouse activities are, since many years already, quite a crucial part of our business. In fact, the kind of business that we are doing is kind of trading, where we constantly buy and sell traffic from one destination to another. During this buying and selling activity, it's of course crucial that we make some margin, profitable margin, to keep our business going. And to make sure that this margin remains profitable for the various destinations, we use our active data warehouse platform as one of the key instruments for the various stake-off reports. The technologies that we use, Teradata, we have a high-end database, which is in fact the heart of our data warehouse platform. On the front end, we use ClickView as a dashboarding tool, and as ETL, we use Informatica. So this is something that we have already since many years, which becomes already a bit boring, out of date, I would say. But luckily, we have a quite creative business, which keeps coming with more and more challenges and new requirements. And one of those challenges is the SMART project, which stands for Subscriber Monitoring and Advanced Reporting Tool. It's a whole framework of reports that we have been building to make sure that all our telecom operators can have a kind of 360 degrees view on their roaming traffic. So the characteristics of this platform is really that we are entering there, that we are putting our first steps there in big data. So in contradiction with the previous, with the data warehouse data that we had already before, are we now entering in the signaling data, which is really of a complete other magnitude of data. So we are talking about SS7, GRX, LTE data feeds, which is really billions of records. In fact, those are not only the voice calls and the SMS calls that people are sending and for which they have to pay, but it's also including all the heartbeats. So whenever I'm traveling, whenever I'm standing here now, I'm constantly making connection with the network. So this is typically one of the feeds we are capturing there. Besides the fact that we are really tackling big volumes of data, we also have to do it fast. So most of our dashboards, we are trying to make it near real time. If I would take the plane from here to the United States, first thing, like everybody is doing, is switching on his or her phone, trying to make connection to a new network, to get authenticated with T-Mobile, for example. Now, 5 to 10 minutes afterwards, I will see it already in our reporting portal. Last but not least, it also has to be a sexy portal, since it's a key project for BICS to make sure that people come to BICS for routing their international traffic and to make sure that we remain unique towards our competitors. This is an overview of the architecture that we have put in place since about 3 years now. So we are connecting to our network to make sure that all the signaling data can be real-time parsed and collected from our network via homegrown Python scripts. And then, as of there, we are launching Informatica ETLs to make sure that in parallel we can calculate and pre-calculate a various set of KPIs. On top of that, we have our Teradata database in which all the information is stored and then sent to our ClickView framework, where we have really a whole set of about 20, even 30 modules going from more operational and technical KPIs in the monitoring tab to more advanced business modules in the BI section, but also track and trace, which is a tool which allows you to really try to find back a unique subscriber experience. Very handy if you would like to trace your partner or if you would like to find some traces of certain terrorists. Just to make it a bit visual, everything has been integrated in our Extranet portal, which is called My BICS. And then this is typically one of the dashboards that we are building, going from a high-level world map view, which includes security, to make sure that every operator can only see his or her data, of course. As I mentioned, it's already near real time. And then we have a whole set of time granularities to make sure that we can go over, that we can display 30 days of 5 minutes granularity data to 5 years history of 3 years history, sorry. We are extending it as we speak to 5 years history on a monthly granularity. Besides that, we also have some more advanced BI reports, and this is really now the area in which we are still evolving as we speak. It's a whole journey which is in which we are gradually evolving, and which is going from the active roamers, for example, to see how many people are roaming where at a certain moment in time, but also silent roamers to detect which people switch off their mobile data usage whenever they are roaming, because it's still far too expensive. So it's about 95% which is still doing that. But we also have already some logarithms in place to detect and to categorize certain SMS behavior and to detect SMS fraud patterns. So this is already in place now since 3 years. It's fully live in production. But as I mentioned already, volumes are really growing rapidly, about 100, even 200% on a yearly basis. So if we talk about 2 billion records this year, it will be 4 billion next year and 8 billion the year after. On top of that, we are really looking for ways to keep our solution unique, because our competitors are aware, of course, of this solution, and they are, I'm not going to say copying, but they are launching similar initiatives. So also detecting new insight, providing new insight, providing more rich information towards our customer is really key to keep this a valuable and a unique platform. That's why last year we have started and we have entered the first steps in the big data area to make sure that we can really keep this platform scalable from a storage and a processing aspect, but also to make sure that we can really enable more data discovery. So this is the new architecture that we have put in place and which is now live since almost 1 year. As you can see, we are still touching the same network technologies, but we are no longer only relying on the Teradata database, but we have put a kind of hybrid approach where the most crucial and critical information is still processed on our Teradata database to make sure that the near real-time monitoring and alerting is still done within our SLAs. But besides that, to make sure that we really have a scalable platform where we can really store the vast amounts of data, we have put in place Hadoop appliance, also a platform that we have bought from Teradata, which gives us much more scalability and also the whole flavor of Hadoop technologies to make sure that we can start doing our discovery journey. So where are we? Last year we have been migrating the various technologies already to this new platform to make sure that SS7LTE and GRX are already compliant with this new architecture. And as of now, we are putting our first steps in really the data discovery area. So earlier, beginning of this year, we have performed the first POC with the data discovery platform of Teradata, being Aster. And this is typically one of the fancy visualizations that comes out. So typically the things that we are looking at is trying to find some patterns, how people are roaming, trying to form certain clusters, trying to group customers in how they roam on our network, which networks they are visiting, but also which applications they are using, if they are kind of social media users using Facebook, Twitter, or if they are more businessmen. And besides this funny, what we call hairball visualization, in which you can then drill down and find more of those details, we really try to make it more user-friendly in some path analysis so that you can see whenever people are starting to roam, how they evolve and how they roam over the various operators when they leave the network. So it's really one of the key strategic projects to make sure for BICS, to make sure that more customers come to us and that more customers send more of their traffic over our network, because if they send their network traffic over our platform, we can provide this hosted solution with limited investment for them on top of it as an added service. Besides that, of course, for our IT department, it's quite fun because we are really touching and keeping pace with all the new and fancy technologies. I would like to thank you for your attention.